Right, so here we go. We have not only good genes, but we have some people with good musical genetics on the show today, which is quite important. And this particular individual, his name is Bradley Knight. He's a singer, he's a songwriter, and he first started appreciating music as a young boy. He would strum along on his tennis racket, I did the same thing, to the vibrant, infectious songs that his dad was perpetually playing for him, and I think that's such a special way to start things off.
Yeah, now we take it back to present day. It's 26-year-old. He's taking a critical step in his musical journey as he is in the midst of the release of his incredible debut single. It's called Lost, and it's ahead of his upcoming debut EP, Limbo, and he's joining us in studio right now live.
Yes.
We are blessed. We've got him in the building. Brother, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. Feeling great. Thanks for having me.
Good. Yes, he has the look of someone that's wondering why we're so energetic in the morning. You know what I mean? That's because of you.
It's an early rise.
So chilled. Have you seen this guy this morning? He's just too cool.
Yeah.
Smooth, sultry voice. Nothing can shake this man.
That's
I'm the best.
Well, it's great to have you, and I know that when it comes to music, there's a story. Now, the thing is, I do my Googling.
Okay.
And apparently your dad was so pivotal in your music career. I mean, how much did he influence you getting into this industry?
Yeah, I mean, my dad has great taste in music. He'd always have his favorite artists playing at home. And as you said, in the car on the way to my early morning tennis practices, I'd be strumming along to Lenny Kravitz and Carlos Santana. So yeah, he was definitely a big part of what my initial love for music.
And keeping it to that initial period, I mean, we share a little bit of a similar reality when it comes to back in school. I mean, you were a Kersney boy. I went to a different school, though. But I believe you also started up in your school choir. And it wasn't just any old choir. I mean, your choir kind of like dominated. You guys did some competitions. You became almost world-renowned in a sense. So, I mean, having your dad's inspiration and then having this choir sort of mix in it, how does that shape a little bit of the music and the history behind it as well?
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. I mean, I grew up in Cape Town. I went off to high school at Kersney, and I didn't know that they had kind of like a world-renowned choir.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to Japan, Taiwan, China for one of the tours in 2010. Then 2012, we went to the States, performed at the United Nations headquarters, all over the show. So that really, I mean, it was incredible. It's a very intensive period of singing. I mean, we did like 14 hours a day practicing. You know, huge choreographed pieces with gumboot dancing and singing and all of that. So it was, yeah, just incredible.
Never mind the audience. I mean, the UN, no pressure there.
Yeah.
We had to stand for about an hour waiting while they were speaking. We're to the point where we felt like we were going to pass out.
Just to make it that much harder for you.
Yeah.
Well played, well
Just
done.
on top of that.
They call it diplomacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just stand and
so.
wait and just smile. It happens. So, but if I now fast forward, now number one, actually, I want to stop there. I didn't know that he was in the choir. That was the first time I heard that he was part of the choir.
You could never tell from my voice.
Yeah, no, but I can tell from your body. It sings too. Right. Anyway, so what I wanted to find out is that now let's fast forward to the EP. It's called Limbo. Why the choice of Limbo as an EP name?
Well, I think it was last year when I was putting this project together during the initial lockdown.
Yeah.
I think we can all relate to that feeling of being in limbo. So neither here nor there, kind of the waiting room. And it was within that mood that I started coming up with these ideas of Lost and Limbo and Rainy Days and all these like dreamy, nostalgic kind of songs. And that initiated it was a catalyst for the process.
Wowza. And yeah, we felt in Limbo. Huh?
I definitely did. And to speak even more about that, the EP that's coming out, which is sounding really, really fantastic. It's called Lost, of course. Speaks about self-discovery. It speaks about that significance that you have in your life. Can you elaborate more about that? It is especially something that I think, as you mentioned in the pandemic, it's something that's so pertinent right now.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, that song specifically was the lockdown period. There was that kind of feeling of the initial 21 days. I was like, all right, I can sit down, I can be super creative. But that didn't happen. It was very stressful. It was very tense, uncertain times. And I had to kind of hit a rock bottom where I turned around and I started just being grateful for the little things, family, a roof over my head. And that kind of initiated the whole idea of Lost, that feeling of what everyone was going to and wondering who else was experiencing the same feelings on a global scale and trying to connect with them through this track, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. I mean, that's the perfect... You know what? Sometimes the negativity is the best way to start something that can create inspiration as well, which is so powerful. But for 2021, let's look ahead. When can we expect a full drop of the Limbo EP? And what else do you have up your sleeve for this year?
So I've got Limbo, which will be coming out next. So Lost is released.
Yeah.
Limbo is coming out next, which I'll be performing a little bit later. It'll be a sneak peek. Then we've got Rainy Days, which is the third track. And I've got Kiss with Soul, which is the last track. That will be, the full EP will be releasing about August, September, but we'll have singles before then.
Oh man, just chatting to you now, I can sense and feel the realism. I can sense that rawness, and I definitely feel like I can relate. And I believe that you've done that beautifully in your music. And what a medium to do it with, to connect and to share. And of course, we're going to get to hear you later on in the show. Which I know we cannot wait.
Excited,
everybody in the studio is humming. So
excited.
get lost with Bradley Knight's dreamy and ethereal debut single. It's called Lost, of course, which is available for listening and purchase from all leading music streaming platforms. And of course, we're going to hear it right here in the show. And you do not want to go anywhere.